Hello, good afternoon. I'm Heda. I live in Bangkok. I'm an OFW. I'm a single mom. I have two kids. They are 15 and 11. And I just want to talk about uh, the OFW's qualifications, so to speak, in terms of discussions on governance. Okay, bakit po qualified ang mga OFW to enter into discussions on governance? Kasi may mga critics who are saying na wala naman kayo dito sa Pilipinas. How do you know what's going on here? Okay, and then meron pang iba. Ano naman ang alam nyo dahil wala naman kayong degree sa law or wala naman kayong degree sa journalism? Okay, so let's talk about that. Okay, let's really talk about that. I want to I want to use as an example the things that the OFWs in Thailand did during the time of Yolanda. I am not going to talk about myself. I am simply a mouthpiece for all the OFWs, okay, in Thailand who were part of the movement, so to speak, to send more monies, to send more help, to send more support to the Philippines during Yolanda time. And so before Yolanda was going to hit, there were a few of us here in Thailand who were talking to each other on the phone, on messaging, and those of us who have families in Central Visayas, especially, we were worried. We were worried before it was going to strike. I think it was days before that we started talking to each other, and we just kind of pulled together for support and for information. And so when Yolanda struck, and then it hit late, I think it hit late at first. And so there were videos and pictures and some messaging, some information that came in from the Philippines to family members and to friends who were here in Thailand. And so our friends and family who were here in Thailand and then had connections with people in Leyte, they shared the information with all of us who were also watching, because our family, we felt, were also going to be struck, okay, at some point, because most of Central Visayas and even Western Visayas was in the path of the typhoon. And so we were sharing the information, and we were kind of scared, okay, when the videos started coming in, because that's when we truly understood the magnitude of the storm or the typhoon. Although that we already knew that that was going to be a very, very strong one, because the reports that were coming in from CNN and from the international media was that Yolanda or Haiyan was going to be the strongest typhoon to make landfall I think the last 100 years. And so and there were descriptions saying that there was nothing like this before, and so people have to brace themselves. So that was the information that came out that time. And so Iloilo City, fortunately, was spared, but northern Iloilo was badly hit. And the other side of my family was there. Is from there. My father is from northern Iloilo. And so, although we were kind of relieved, okay, that family members, we were helping each other, we were gathering information, and then we said, okay, everyone's okay. I have family back. I have family in the States. I have cousins in the States that I was messaging. We were exchanging information, and then we were glad, okay, that our family were okay, and there was loss of property, but okay, lives were of utmost importance, and that was what really was important at that time. And so now, after Haiyan, after Yolanda, what happened? After Yolanda, there were so many stories that came out, um, and they were not good stories, but we already know a lot of those. Okay, so let's not talk about those. Okay, I think as a country, we all know what went on afterwards in terms of the lack of help, the lack of support, the lack of preparation. And what was even more unbelievable and disappointing was also the lack of consideration afterwards when donations came in. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Now, I want to talk about what the OFWs, okay, did in Thailand. One of those friends of mine that I was talking to, who's from Leyte, said, Manang, let's print t-shirts. Let's fundraise. I'm going to take care of the t-shirts, the printing, and the design. And then she just asked me, okay, can you help in spreading information about it? So I worked with her, and from the t-shirt printing, and from the t-shirt printing, and there were some other donations that came in. We were able to send money to her. Not some of them were her like distant relatives, but okay, she had a group that she was connecting with in Kananga, Leyte, and it was kind of hard at first in terms of transporting the goods. So because what they did was, okay, the group in that she was connecting with, when she went home, they bought some goods that they were going to donate, okay, to the typhoon victims. They did not give out money. They gave out whatever goods were needed after the storm. Okay, so there was some challenge about the transportation, but you know what? Okay, they were able to find a way in order to transport their goods. And I think the transport did not even take so much money. So I will go back, okay, about what it means for governance later, but that's okay, that's one. Number two, he was an OFW, but he is from Bohol. I think he works in Cebu now. And this friend of mine was in Cebu when Yolanda struck. And as we know, Cebu, especially Bantayan Island, was one of the hardest hit during Yolanda. And so this friend of mine, who was here in Bangkok before, what he had was he has a group, and then what they did together was they pulled their intelligences together, so to speak, and so they made a plan. They made a website. And their website was told information about what happened in the Philippines, especially in Cebu, and it was a site where people could also connect. So if they wanted to donate and give money towards the project, where this group went later to, I think, to help rebuild or fix schools, or a school in Bantayan Island. And so my friend said that their website project was so successful because, okay, they were very transparent about the problems, and they were transparent about how they were using the money that was coming in to help the people in Bantayan. And so they gathered so much money that I think it went up to 1 million pesos, and they did not expect it to be that, okay, because they were just hoping for just maybe a few thousand. But because people saw that they were transparent, that the money that was coming in was going into the real needs of the people, and so money poured in, and so that's another story. The other story was here in Thailand. there was a group of ladies who pulled together in terms of their network, in terms of money, and I was involved in their project because what did they do? They put up a concert that had many popular, famous Thai celebrities who performed, and they performed for free. Okay, and that was the work of these Filipino ladies. Some of them were married to Thais, and I think the money that was raised was close to $1 million, and I was able to help disburse that money in Iloilo, in northern Iloilo, in a province, in a town called Estancia, because Estancia was one of the hardest hit in northern Iloilo. Now, so what does this mean about governance? Okay, what has this got to do with OFWs and with governance? Okay, now, the thing is this, okay, these OFWs did not need an official title. They did not need to be an official of government in order to establish networks, in order to communicate, in order to connect with the people who were in need. And they also did not wait for anybody to give them any kind of resource in order to put up projects. They themselves initiated fundraising projects, and so that's what happened. There was also one project that a colleague of mine who's Filipino did. It was lunch for Haiyan food. It was a lunchtime one Sunday when donors came. So there was Filipino food, and people gave money in order to join in the meal, but they also gave the food that was eaten or that was provided was actually, they were mostly donations. They were all donations. And so whatever money that was pulled together in that project, and many foreign friends from around the area came and then joined that project, that money also went to the needy and people who were affected by Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda during that time. So, see, these were ordinary OFWs. If, these OFWs can assess the nature of the problem, can come up with solutions, plan together, and implement projects in order to raise money and send that money in order to effect the lives and have a positive impact on the needy during Haiyan time, why does it seem so hard for our public officials to be doing that same thing? Because, it just boggles me, because, and I think it is a disappointing thing for a lot of people. Now, we're not saying that every single official is like that. I want to highlight the work of Dr. Raul Banyas in northern Iloilo during that time. He worked for the government at that time, but his work I felt was fueled by his own individual passion and work ethic. Because what he did, I think, the day after Haiyan landed, or made landfall in northern Iloilo, because he was in charge of the provincial part of Iloilo, of the province, he, I think, went on a truck and then assessed the problems. He himself, is from northern Iloilo, so he also had, some bad effects towards, I think, his properties as well. But his family pulled together, and his office pulled together, and they were able to go to the most remote of places, and was able to help people. And later on, his own family even had their own project. They what did they do? They donated boats to fishermen in northern Iloilo. And so I think it is very important that we do not just look at OFWs as, like uninformed or not aware of what's going on in our country, because sometimes when you are outside looking in, I think it's even more clear to see what the needs are, what could the solutions be. And sometimes when you are inside and you are part of a very extractive system, a very dysfunctional one, sometimes your hands are tied and you can no longer do what you need to be doing in order to bring solutions to problems. Now, one of the things that I was kind of disappointed about lately was when Riza Hontiveros went to Sydney. Watch Rado Gatchalian's page because there was live streaming there, and it is very important for you to see how it went. Okay, I don't want to tell that story here because I might not give justice to the story. Okay, the nutshell of that story is that Filipinos in Sydney asked questions to the senator, but they were very polite and they were respectful. But okay, they also did not, they were upfront and honest, and they were to the point when they tackled the issue about the effect of the pre-recorded video that Lenny Robredo sent or recorded for the UN. And the reason for that is because Risa and Lenny share the same party. So anyway, one of the things that I was appointed about that visit, okay, I sent a question to I think, was it to Rado that I sent a question to? Because I was wondering what her visit was about. I think one of my videos actually asked that, okay, what was the nature of her visit. And during the live streaming, I found out that she said she wanted to look at and study the health and medical program for the Australian citizens. I was just kind of wondering about that, okay, because, study trips like that takes money from the taxpayers. And why didn't she come to Thailand instead and study the health and medical program here? Why? Because Thailand and Philippines are quite similar. We share a lot more with each other in terms of economy, geography, people, than Australia. Australia, we know very well, they are a first world country. Their economy is not the same as us. Why would you study their health and medical program? Because, okay, whatever applies to them is probably not going to be able to answer to our needs as a people, because they have a totally different economic system. Geography is different. The people are different. Okay, so anyway, those are my questions. So going back to the purpose and goal of this video is when we ask, okay, what's the qualifications of OFWs are in terms of discussions regarding governance, we really have to think twice about that question, because, okay, the OFW is knowledgeable about, okay, what it's like to live abroad and what it's like to live in our country. And when you have been outside looking in, you see the big, stark, clear difference about how other countries take care of their citizens, and how many of our public officials in the Philippines in the past did not. And you also would see that a lot of the public officials in our country seem to be coming only from the most powerful, the most influential, okay, the most rich families, and a lot of them don't understand or cannot, okay, go as deep as other people who would also like to serve in public office and are actually coming from poor backgrounds. Yes, they may have the qualifications, okay, they may have gone to law school, or they may have gone to, they may have hold PhD degrees in social science. But if you have not lived, okay, or you have not touched poverty, it's hard, okay, for you to be able to identify with the needs of the people. Yes, there are actually a lot of rich people who and wealthy people who understand, okay, the needs and are actually listening. I think there are a lot of those now, actually, okay, but in the past, okay, it didn't seem that way. Why? I have met a lot of public officials, senators, congressmen who came here in Thailand, okay, for visits, and I have actually interviewed some of them. And a lot of them don't seem to have an idea about how to apply Thailand's success to our Philippine setting. And that is sad, because there's so much that can be learned about Thailand which could be applied to our country. And today we are more hopeful, and sorry that this is kind of boring. I think, okay, there are some serious things to be discussed, and I think we just have to continue about this. I am not done, by the way, with the letter writing for EU. I need some more information, because I think our letters would have more substance if we have a lot more information to defend the fact that the figures that have been coming out in the international media are not the right ones. So if you have some information about that, please do send me the link. I'm going to start a thread on our page to ask for information about that towards the drafting of the letter. So please comment and put your links there in the comments if you have access to any. Also, there was somebody who was asking me to talk about the Treaty of Paris and how the Philippines figures into that. I have no idea. Okay, I will try to research on that. So if anybody has some information out there, I'm going to post that as well, so that you can help in the discussion. Okay, guys. Okay, I don't know everything. Okay, what I'm trying to do here is for us to have some kind of forum where we can discuss things and we can have respectful discourse about things that are happening in our country. Hindi po ako nagmamarunong, okay, for those, some of those, okay, who try to stop me from talking here, okay. What I'm doing, I'm just a mouthpiece for a lot of people who feel that they don't have the courage to speak up, or they feel that they don't have siguro mas makapal ang mukha ko, so they think that I should be doing this a little bit more. So that's okay, that's part of that. So two things. I'm going to post a link, a thread. I'm going to start a thread so that we can help share information about the figures that defend against those figures that have come out in the international media. I think one of those is the most recent one. Was that from the Manila Times? When was that? Tigdao, the writer was Tigdao. Okay, please send. Can you please send that? But I think that's in my timeline, actually. And then the other thread that I would like to start is the one about that question regarding Treaty of Paris. And in terms of territories, disputed territories, especially the Philippine and China issue regarding territories, the best page to go to on that one is actually that of Paula Defensor NAC. Knack, K-N-A-C-K, because she talks a lot about that. And she's an international criminal lawyer who's based in The Hague. Okay, she's actually our legal advisor at the Philippine Embassy there. Okay, so, and she talks a lot about that. And gets better. Okay, who is she? She is the sister of the late Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago. And Paola, or her, I think her name is Peachy actually, she has come out publicly to defend and support this government. And so we have somebody who is well versed in international criminal law and is defending this presidency. Okay, so please follow her. And okay, let's work on those two things first. Okay, and then we'll see. Okay, what we're gonna be doing after. There in Thailand, there is actually I think an event on April 2nd. I will try to get together, to get some information. I am actually supporting the President Duterte's Partners for Change Thailand OFW. Okay, I work with them. So I will try to get some information about, okay, their event. Okay, so guys, please send me some information as well so that, okay, our brothers and sisters here in Thailand, ang mga kababayan na nasa Thailand will also know. So guys, okay, let's just keep on talking. Sometimes, okay, I just post like comic relief posts, okay, on our website, because you know what? We just have to balance, okay? Balance serious talk with some comical things, okay? Because that's who we are as Filipinos, okay? We are an intelligent lot, but, okay, we also love to laugh, okay? We love life. Bye.